The Galactic Council had made their decision with the cold precision of a surgical strike. Humanity, they declared, was too dangerous to exist among the stars, too unpredictable, too violent, too human. Admiral Zethkar of the Hegemony Fleet watched the final human colony ship burn through the viewport of his flagship, the last of their kind scattered across the void like dying embers. The Council's purge protocol had been thorough. Every human world scorched, every human ship destroyed, every trace of their existence systematically eliminated from galactic records. "It is done," he transmitted to the Council chambers on Nexus Prime. "The human plague has been cleansed from our galaxy." The assembled species, the crystalline Vorthak, the gas-dwelling Nephilim, the hive-minded Kretak, all vibrated with satisfaction. For 3 centuries, humanity had been a thorn in their perfectly ordered civilization. They disrupted trade agreements with their stubborn ethics. They refused to bow to superior species. Worst of all, they had the audacity to treat all sentient life as equals, regardless of technological advancement or evolutionary superiority. Now finally, there would be peace. 2,000 years passed. The galaxy prospered under the Council's rule. Trade flowed smoothly between star systems. Conflicts were resolved through proper diplomatic channels. The rigid caste system based on technological advancement maintained perfect order. The strong ruled the weak, as nature intended. But something was wrong. It started small, mining accidents on the outer rim where asteroid processors simply stopped responding. Automated defense systems going offline without explanation. The Council attributed it to aging infrastructure and increased patrols. Then, the Devourers came. They emerged from the void between galaxies like a plague of locusts, their biomechanical, ships consuming everything in their path, planets, stars, entire solar systems all converted into raw materials for their endless reproduction. The Council's mighty fleet, so perfectly designed for maintaining order, crumbled before this chaotic enemy. The Vorthak's crystal cities shattered under directed energy bombardment. The Nephilim's gas giant fortresses were drained dry. The Mawai, Kretak's hive worlds became nurseries for devourer spawn. In desperation, the surviving Council members gathered in an emergency session on the heavily fortified fortress world of Sanctuary 7. "We need a new strategy," wheezed Elder Vorthan, his crystal form cracked and dulled with age. "Our conventional forces are insufficient." "Perhaps if we offer tribute," suggested Ambassador Nephalis, her gaseous form flickering with anxiety. "Surely these creatures can be negotiated with." "They do not communicate," clicked Queen Cremora, her antennae twitching with frustration. "They only consume." Admiral Zethkar, now ancient but still commanding, studied the tactical displays showing the Devourers' inexorable advance. Something nagged at him, a memory from long ago. He pulled up the archived files from the human purge, scrolling through tactical assessments that hadn't been accessed in millennia. His blood chilled as he read. Human military assessment, final report species exhibits unprecedented adaptability in combat situations. Unlike other galactic species who rely on technological superiority or numerical advantage, humans demonstrate remarkable creativity under pressure. Their illogical tactics often prove devastatingly effective against conventional forces. They show disturbing tendency to sacrifice individual units for strategic advantage, suggesting dangerous pack-bonding behaviors that override self-preservation instincts. Recommendation: immediate termination of species before they develop counter-strategies. To Council Military Doctrine. The Admiral's hands shook as he accessed another file, a classified psychological profile. Humans possess unique trait designated spite-based persistence. When faced with impossible odds, rather than surrendering logically, they become increasingly determined to survive purely to deny their enemy's satisfaction. This leads to unpredictable behaviors that often result in tactical victories against superior opponents. And then, the report that made him drop the datapad. Human reaction to Devourer-class threats. Theoretical modeling suggests humans would not attempt negotiation or retreat. Instead, they would likely develop increasingly destructive countermeasures, viewing extinction-level threats as personal insults requiring immediate retaliation. Their pack bonding extends to their entire species, making them incapable of accepting selective survival. Around him, the Council continued debating surrender terms and evacuation protocols. None of them seemed to understand what was coming. The Devourers had consumed 90% of the galaxy and showed no signs of slowing. But Zethkar knew there was another option, a terrible, necessary option. He quietly accessed the deep archives, searching through records that predated the Purge. Hidden in the classified sections, he found what he was looking for: DNA samples, cultural databases, and most importantly, complete neural pattern backups from human prisoners of war. The technology existed to restore them. It would take decades, maybe centuries, but it could be done. They could bring back the monsters they had so carefully eliminated. The Admiral looked out at the dying galaxy and made his choice. 300 years later, the first human opened his eyes in a cloning facility on a hidden moon. Captain Sarah. Chen blinked, disoriented as memories flooded back. Memories of Earth's burning cities, of desperate evacuation fleets, of the systematic extermination of her species. Around her, thousands of other humans were awakening. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, civilians, all restored from archived patterns by the same aliens who had murdered them. A figure approached her pod, an elderly, scarred alien she somehow recognized. Admiral Zethkar, the butcher of humanity, now bent with age and shame. "Why?" Sarah asked, her voice raw from centuries of silence. The Admiral gestured to a viewport showing the devastated galaxy beyond. "Because we need you," he said simply. "The Devourers have taken everything. We tried surrender, we tried negotiation, we tried hiding. Nothing worked." Sarah pulled herself from the pod, accepting the simple clothes and equipment offered to her. Around the facility, humans were organizing themselves with the terrifying efficiency that had once made the galaxy tremble. "So you brought us back to clean up your mess," she said. "Yes. After you murdered our children, burned our worlds, and tried to erase us from history." "Yes." Sarah looked out at the stars, at the galaxy that had rejected humanity so completely, at the alien species that had celebrated their extinction and now begged for their return. A cold smile spread across her face. "We'll do it," she said. "We'll save your galaxy. We'll drive back the Devourers and restore civilization." The Admiral sagged with relief. "But understand this," Sarah continued, her voice carrying the weight of genocide and resurrection. "When we're done, when the last Devourer is dead and your precious order is restored, we're keeping the galaxy. All of it. Consider it payment for services rendered." She walked away, joining the growing crowd of humans who were already planning their campaign against impossible odds. Because that's what humans did. They took personal offense at extinction-level threats and responded with spite-based persistence that defied all logic. The galaxy had tried to erase humanity from the stars. Now they would learn why that had been a mistake.